Hey, what is up, money rebels? I'm not a financial expert. I'm just an ordinary person who has changed her life through financial management. I'm here to share replicable ideas for making money, saving money, and getting rich. And I'm here to tell you the truth about investing. And trust me, it is probably not what you want to hear. A lot of people ask me for the secret to making big money, and I tell them the truth, but nobody ever believes me. Seriously, they look at me like I just told them unicorns are real, and they're gonna deliver my next Amazon package. Now, I watch a ton of these investing channels, right? And it is always some dude in a suit talking about his fifth vacation home, or how he made $1 million before breakfast. And I'm sitting here like, dude, I just made $594 last paycheck. What are you even talking about? It is like they're living on a different planet, a planet where rent doesn't exist, and groceries magically appear in your fridge. So I'm here to give you the real deal, the unpolished, unfiltered truth from a 25-year-old who makes less than $2,600 a month and is still figuring out how to invest. I've been struggling to find a full-time job in this wild job market, and trust me, it is a jungle out there. But even with the struggle, I've found ways to make my money work for me, and I want to show you exactly how. I know what some of you are thinking: invest with what money? Rent's a killer, groceries are highway robbery, and my bills are breeding like rabbits. I totally get it. It feels impossible to even think about investing when you're just trying to survive. But here's the kicker: you absolutely have money left over to invest. Even if it is just a tiny bit, and you do it consistently, over the long haul, every single unnecessary expense. That is you firing a loyal employee who could have been making you money. Think about it, that extra latte, that spontaneous online shopping spree, those could have been little soldiers in your army of wealth. So let's dive into how I, a normal human being, not some financial wizard, am investing my hard-earned, albeit scarce dollars. And I'll tell you my investments first, because I know some of you just want the juicy details, and I'm not here to hold you hostage. My last paycheck, and I'll even put a picture of it right here for the doubters, was $594. Yeah, you heard that right. $594. That is pretty much what I make on a weekly basis. Not exactly baller status, right? But here's where it gets interesting. The first chunk of my money, a solid 8%, goes straight into my 401k. I'm not going to get super technical on you, but basically a 401k is a retirement account through your work. You give them money, they match a certain percentage, free money, people, and that money gets invested. The best part, when you pull it out in retirement, it is tax-free. Or so I'm told. Always check with a professional people. That is why I do 8%. My company, they've got a 6% match, so I'm getting essentially 14% of my paycheck invested in my 401k pre-tax. So it comes out before I even see it, which is genius because if I saw it, I'd probably spend it. Not gonna lie. If you're looking to start investing and your employer offers a 401k, that is your first stop, hands down, easiest money you'll ever make. Next up, $125 a week, straight into the stock market. Specifically, I'm investing in something called VU, which tracks the S&P 500. For those of you new to this, the S&P 500 basically tracks the top 500 companies in America. Think Apple, Google, Amazon, the big guns, and historically, it always goes up over time. So instead of trying to pick the next hot stock, which is basically like playing financial roulette, I'm investing in the whole damn market. It is like buying a little piece of America's economic growth. It is boring, I know, but boring makes money. Then we get to the slightly more controversial $145 of Bitcoin every single week. Now, I'm a young guy, so I can stomach the wild swings of crypto. I believe in Bitcoin's long-term potential. I'm not messing around with meme coins or trying to day trade my way to riches. Nope, just $45 of Bitcoin, rain or shine, every single week. I've got a few other real-world asset coins I've dabbled in, but Bitcoin is my weekly commitment. The hope is that by the time I'm older, maybe in my 30s or 40s, that $45 a week turns into something substantial. Fingers crossed, right? And last but not least, 10% of my paycheck goes into a high-yield savings account. This is through SoFi Bank, and it is currently paying out a 3.8% annual percentage yield. Now, for those of you who think your money is safe just sitting in a regular savings account, let me drop a truth bomb on you. It is actually losing money. Yes, you heard that right. Losing money thanks to inflation. The value of a dollar today is less than it was 10 years ago. So if your money is just sitting there, doing nothing, it is getting eaten alive by inflation with my high-yield savings. At least I'm making a small return. 3.8% isn't life-changing money, but it is better than zero, right? It is like putting your money on a treadmill instead of letting it just chill on the couch. So if you add all that up, I'm investing about 51% of my income. Now, I know what some of you are thinking: how the heck are you doing that? 25-year-old part-timer living in this economy. And here's the transparent truth. I have the luxury of not paying rent. I still live with my parents. And yes, that makes a huge difference. I'm not going to pretend otherwise, but even with that, I still pay for my car, My phone, my groceries, gas, everything else. Rent is a beast. I totally get it. But my point is, it is still possible to invest, even if you're not in my exact situation. Now, let's talk about the best way to start investing, especially if you're like me, maybe not making a ton of money, or you're new to all this. The first thing you need to do is get real with your money. Grab a spreadsheet, or even just a piece of paper, and write down all your monthly expenses, not just your needs, but your wants too. See where your money is actually going. I'm not a fan of strict budgeting. I believe you should still enjoy your life, but you need to know what is left over after your necessities and your wants. Because that leftover money, that is your investing money, that is your freedom fund. Let's say after all your needs and wants, you have $100 left over each week. You can invest that $100. And the best way to do it, especially when you're starting, is to invest small amounts. Consistently. This is called dollar cost averaging. Basically, you're always buying into the market. Regardless of whether it is up or down, no one, and I mean no one, can perfectly time the market. So instead of trying to be a hero, just consistently buy, and over time your average price will work itself out. It takes all the guesswork and stress out of it. It is like building a house. Brick by brick, you don't need to lay the whole foundation in one day. Now, once you have that number, let's say you decide to invest $25 a week, $5 a day. The absolute best thing you can do, and this is tried and true, is to automate everything. Seriously, automation is your best friend. Investing is a huge mental game, and for people like me who don't make a ton of money, seeing that money leave your account can be painful. It is like, oh man, I just bought $45 of Bitcoin. I could have used that for my car payment. But when it is automated, you don't even have to think about it. It just happens. While you're sleeping, while you're watching Netflix, your money is working for you. For my 401k, it is automatically deducted from my paycheck. I don't even see it. It is magic. When I invest that $125 into VU, I don't go in and manually type it in. It is all automated. If I had to do that, I'd probably never invest because I'd want to hold on to that money. Keep it safe. Stare at it every 5 seconds. But by automating it, it is just gone. Working hard, building my future, same me thing with my Bitcoin. I have it set up to buy $15 on Monday, $15 on Wednesday, and $15 on Friday. It happens at midnight. While I'm dreaming of financial freedom, I don't have to touch a button. I don't have to talk myself out of it, because let's be honest, that is the hardest part for most people. They talk themselves out of investing. I don't want to spend $45 today. But when it is automatic, you don't even feel it. It just becomes part of your routine, like brushing your teeth. And my high-yield savings account, 10% of my paycheck goes straight there, automatically. So when I get paid, the number in my checking account is already adjusted. I don't have to manually transfer it. I don't have to get emotional and think, can I really save 10% this week? Nope, it just happens. Right off the top, it is the best way to do it because it removes all the mental friction. Now, let's talk about the mentality behind all this, because it is super important. I've been working part-time for the past 3 years, and it has been tough. I'm in data analytics. I've got a strong resume, worked with some great companies, but finding a full-time job has been a grind. I've interviewed a lot, applied a lot, and it is not easy. So, I don't go into investing thinking I'm going to be rich tomorrow. Sure, I'd love to be a millionaire in 5 years, when I'm 30, but that is not why I do it. I invest with the mindset that I'm going to live an average life. I'll make an average amount of money, I'll do average buying and spending, but I'm investing for the long run. I get it. A lot of people don't want to wait until they're 59 and a half to pull out their money. They want to be rich tomorrow. And yeah, I'd love that too, but it is just not realistic for most of us. I'm not saying I'm selling myself short, but I'm being realistic. I might not be rich in the next 5 or 10 years. And it is hard watching these YouTubers who are already rich telling you to invest in some random stock and you'll be a millionaire in 5 days. That is not how life works, people. Investing is a long-term game, a marathon, not a sprint. So even if you can only invest $1 a week, the whole point is to build that mindset, that belief that you can do it, that you are an investor. Think about it. If you're in a situation like mine, making $594 a paycheck, and you think you can't afford to invest, you're wrong. If you don't invest anything now, and then you get that high-paying job, it is going to be even harder to start because you'll have all this money and you won't want to let go of it. But if you start small, even just $1 a week, you build that habit, that discipline, you go through the trials and tribulations, you learn how investing works. And then when you get that high-paying job, you've already got the investor mindset, you've been investing $1 a week for a year. You can say, hey, I'm an investor, and then you can bump it up to $20 a week or $50 or $100, whatever you're comfortable with. But it all starts with starting small, and even if you make a lot of money right now and you've never invested, let's say you have $1,000 left over a week after all your necessities. That is awesome, but maybe just start with $50 a week. Nothing crazy. I tell my friends this all the time. I have friends who make way more money than me, and they don't invest, and they're like, well, I need to do all this research. I need to invest a lot of money. No, you don't. Start with your 401k, do 3%, do 5%, whatever your company matches. Then maybe bump it up a little, 8%, 10%, or if you want to dip your toes into stocks, find something like VU, something that tracks the S&P 500, low risk, long-term growth, and just throw $5 a day or $5 a week at it. It will pay off in the long run because you're building that mindset, that belief that you can do it, that you can invest. So, to sum it all up, again, I make $594 a paycheck. I'm 25, I work part-time, and I'm investing about 51% of my income, 8% to my 401k, $125 a week, into the stock market through VU40, $5 of Bitcoin a week, and 10% of my money into a high-yield savings account. That is how I set up my investments. It is not financial advice. I'm just being transparent, showing you how a regular person, not some already rich guru, does it. Because honestly, it gets stale watching all these rich people invest their money. I just want to see how an average person can do it and what they can actually afford. Let me know if you guys have any questions or if you want more content like this. And yeah, stay boring, stay patient. Peace.